Department of Education debuts new nutritional guidelines for schools. Tesla tests auto drive feature. Investors react to fluctuations in the U.S. stock market. On Amber's team tonight, she's a pundit who's appeared on Morning Joe, Fox News Sunday, and Real Time with Bill Maher, so we don't know what her politics are either. It's Kristin Soltis Anderson. And joining Michael, he's a writer and comedian who currently voices Gene Belcher on Bob's Burgers, which means an 11-year-old boy is voicing him here tonight. It's Eugene Mirman. And now for the biggest stories of the week. Michael and Eugene, watch the clip. Tell me what's the story.
Well, there's the IRS, which everybody likes. And then, more taxes. Oh, okay. So I know this.
Okay.
The IRS commissioner resigned.
Yeah, he resigned. The IRS commissioner resigned.
I think it was a lady commissioner.
I don't think the person has a name or gender.
Okay.
But I believe they were in charge of this thing, and then they were like, bye! And the reason is something to do with our government.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's points good enough. The story is the head of the IRS quit 1 week before tax day, or as Anderson Cooper put it.
More breaking news right now in the middle of tax season. CNN has learned that Acting Internal Revenue Service Commissioner Melanie Krause is leaving the agency.
Hang on, can we see just one more time? Play the beginning of that clip again.
More breaking news right now.
You know how bad the news has to be when your body starts rejecting? Now, there's been a lot of resignations with the new administration, but this one gets to a bigger issue. Question over here. Why might the acting IRS Commissioner, Melanie Krause, have decided to resign this week?
It has to do with the fact that the Doge people, I believe, were asking her to turn over all the information that the IRS has against on undocumented people, because as I'm sure all of us know, undocumented people pay billions and billions and billions of dollars in taxes. They receive nothing in return, and they do that so that they can be registered here and enjoy living here and working. Is that right?
Yeah, that was right.
Sources say Melanie Krause made this decision after the Trump administration finalized a deal to share the tax data of immigrants with ICE officials.
Pending confirmation, the new IRS commissioner will be former Missouri Congressman Billy Long. And let's get an idea of what we're working with here. First, here's Melanie Krause, and here's Billy Long.
To think how far you could rise from Dukes of Hazzard.
That's one boss hog-looking motherfucker.
Now, we see Billy Long now, but can anybody guess what was Billy Long's occupation before he became a congressman?
Chippendale dancer.
Here he is showing off his skills in the Rose Garden in 2019.
I take it 25, would you get $30,000? How about a 30? 35, 40, able to buy 45, 45, 50. How about a $50,000 now? If I would buy 60.
Is he auctioning off the Stanley Cup?
One person who'll be using that IRS information to round up immigrants is DHS Director Kristi Noem, seen here auditioning for The Real Housewives of Yellowstone. On Tuesday, Noem appeared in a video with some ICE agents in Arizona. Yeah, there she is. What is wrong with this picture?
Well, it looks like she's kind of pointing the gun at the other dude's head.
Yes, Kristi is pointing her gun directly at the skull of the dude next to her. You can't do that, Kristi. He's an ICE agent. He's not your dog. Now, Trump and Kristi have promised that they're going after the worst of the worst, but that doesn't seem like the case at all. Take the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland father who came here at age 16 and had protected status, but by the government's own admission, has been removed to El Salvador because of an administrative error. Does anyone even know why this person was on the government's radar in the first place?
He's not white.
Pretty good answer right there. Here's the answer.
The judge says the government has given no proof that Abrego Garcia was a gang member, saying the only evidence given includes his wearing of a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie and a singular unsubstantiated allegation.
Also under suspicion because of the Chicago Bulls stuff is these two. But on Thursday, the Supreme Court weighed in on the case, siding with Abrego Garcia.
9-0. Like, you don't get a ton of those making big news these days. And when you have Justice Clarence Thomas agreeing with Sonia Sotomayor, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. It's really great to see somebody bringing them all together. It's not scary. It's comforting.
What percentage of migrants who are being snatched up and sent to a foreign prison in El Salvador have no current record? Of everybody they snatched up, what percentage have never been to jail?
Anything less than 100% is a fuck up. We fucked up.
According to records reviewed by Bloomberg, about 90% of the migrants deported to El Salvador had no U.S. criminal record.
Fuck this place, man.
They might have.
Now, to be fair, ICE hears all these criticisms and they're taking them to heart. Earlier this week, acting ICE Director Todd Lyons told the 2025 Border Security Expo, quote, "We need to get better at treating this like a business, saying deportation should be like Amazon Prime, but with human beings." We had Amazon Prime, but with human beings. It was from 1619 to about 1865. There was a lot of shipping getting sent over this way.
No returns.
Question. Was there any good news this week?
Someone must have had a baby.
A baby with the measles, Eugene.
Someone must have had a baby for a day. Thank you, RFK. A baby for a day. You can use it.
The good news is that people are finally standing up. Last week saw anti-Trump hands-off protests in all 50 states. Great signs at these protests, featuring signs like ICE is for soda, not refugees. Hunk if you never drunk texted war plans. And oligargle these nuts. What human rights issue did Trump tackle with the new executive order?
Oh, shower pressure, getting enough water out of your shower head.
Guess is over here.
I think he's right.
On Wednesday, Trump signed an executive order entitled Maintaining Acceptable Water Pressure in Shower Heads, meant to address the Obama-Biden war on showers, or as Trump put it,
anytime you see a new faucet, you know it's going to be a long wash of the hands.
Amber and Kristin, please look at the screen, watch the clip, and tell me what's the story.
Okay, this is Trump. What day is it? Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's almost midnight. The stock market's falling. I know that one.
It doesn't look great.
Yeah. The story is, as promised, Trump's tariffs went into effect at the stroke of midnight on Wednesday. What were people saying about Trump's tariffs in the days before they were set to kick in?
The Democrats were saying this is going to tank the stock market and it's going to be a tax on the American people and everybody's going to be so mad at you. And the Republicans were saying you just have to trust this guy. He's a genius.
Heading into Tuesday night, even conservatives were voicing concerns about Trump's tariff gambit.
Pershing Square CEO Bill Ackman, a Trump supporter, warning we're heading for a self-induced economic nuclear winter.
I think that'll hurt this country.
Whose throat do I get to choke if this proves to be wrong?
Yes, the answer was, as always, Mike Pence. But if we have to pick someone to choke first, should it not be the chief architect of the tariff policy, Peter Navarro, the man Trump reportedly calls my Peter? Question. Hours before the tariffs kicked in, President Trump spoke at a fundraising dinner and bragged about ongoing trade war negotiations. What was his claim?
that he was not going to back off of them.
He did say that. He tripled down and was like, I'm doing it, I'm really, really doing it.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
Please, baby, I'll do anything. Question, does anyone know the ultimate end game of these tariffs?
Did you see how happy he looked when he was like, everybody's calling me? No one calls him on the phone. That was the end goal. This man wants human contact. Someone call him on the phone.
Here's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick explaining the gain we'll be getting from our pain.
Remember, the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones, that kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated.
We're back, baby! We're going to lead the world in screwing, yes!
Michael, have you given any thought to which iPhone factory you want to work at in the States when they come over here?
Here's the thing. I'm particularly looking forward to this because, like in Major League Baseball, the right-handed screwers, that's a dime a dozen. I'm a lefty. I'm gonna, right-handed screwers, they're gonna be making minimum wage, right? Mm-hmm. With the left-handed screwing skills, easily $8.25, $8.50 an hour.
As crazy as things got Wednesday morning, what happened in the afternoon?
The president announcing just minutes ago that he's now, quote, authorized a 90-day pause on some of his new tariffs.
But not for China. Trump says China's tariffs are now at 125%.
The next day, the White House clarified that China's tariff rate was actually 145%. Question, how did China react to being the odd country out?
They, I believe, said, whatever you do, I can do better, and raised the stakes on their end, I think.
It's what we deserve.
That's a very eloquent way of where I'm from, we call it, bitch, please. Shortly after the announcement, China hit the United States back with 84% tariffs, then raised them to 125%, and then called for the world to unite against Trump tyranny. Tyranny. China told people to unite against tyranny. The country that has no term limits.
And drove over a person with a tank over the news.
How has Team Trump been selling these tariffs?
They're good for America. Yes, it may sting for a second, but soon we'll all be rolling in it.
I think he's like giving chemo to people without cancer. Is what I think what Trump is doing. And he's like, you'll feel sick at first. Oh, and then you'll continue to feel sick. Sorry.
Here they are with the answer.
So these tariffs are here to protect America, and Americans will benefit from every single dollar we raise.
President Trump has a spine of steel, and he will not break.
A spine of steel. Unfortunately, that steel was made in China. What did Team Trump say on Wednesday afternoon after he hit the pause button?
This was always the plan.
Oh.
Why can't Republicans just pull Trump to the side and just be like, man, you doing good. You ain't don't do nothing else.
Republicans for a long time have not been the party of tariffs, but every time they talk about it, they have to say something nice about Trump, like, Trump, very good at the economy, but maybe the tariffs not so much. Like, they always couch it in trying to say something nice about him.
So there's a sensitive man baby that you have to lie to on a regular basis to keep the country from collapsing.
I feel like Kristin is having a hard time answering that question. So I will. Yes.
Yes.
He does have a history of creating disasters that he then solves.
So the bond market seemed to be the reason for the pause on the tariffs on Wednesday, but why was the bond market the tipping point?
The United States borrows a lot of money to do everything it does. And so if you think our national debt is a problem, when interest rates go up, it becomes more and more and more of a problem. So that makes it infinitely more scary.
So the markets were all crazy Wednesday morning. Oh, my God. And then they hit the pause Wednesday afternoon. How did the markets react to the pause?
The markets got better, and now we're fine. Everything's fine. Good night.
Here's the market's reaction to the tariff takeback.
The Dow up nearly 3,000 points.
Third biggest overall gain since World War II.
It's fast and furious, and wow.
That's right, baby. We're back to where it was, but it's still lower than where it was before we started. We'll be right back.